It's 9 a.m. Jesus has been turned over to be crucified. Before he carries the patibulum, the crosspiece of his instrument of execution, to the hill of Golgotha, Calvary, he is whipped. He is flogged. Now, this is honestly, in most depictions of the crucifixion, one of the most gruesome scenes of anything that could happen. Jesus is tied by his hands to a post, and a man that was very good at his job comes with a whip called the cat of nine tails, and it is intended to literally rip the flesh off of a human being. And that is exactly what it does. It's not a whip like a crack whip. Instead, it's a whip that is wrapped around a man's back and then pulled in a downward fashion to literally rip the skin off of someone's body. It is absolutely gruesome. And as Jesus is whipped, and as Jesus is flogged, he begins to lose blood, maybe even loses consciousness a couple of times. They whip him literally to the point that he is probably about to die. And then they remove him from that post and they place on his back this patibulum, the horizontal piece that would go on the cross. And they begin to walk him down a road to Calvary, to Golgotha, the place of the skull, the place of his execution. Several times over the course of his walking down that road from the inner part of the city out to the hill, he would stumble and fall. And they actually realize that he's not going to make it. So they grab a man out of the crowd, a man named Simon of Cyrene, and they say, you carry the crosspiece for him. So Simon carries it on behalf of Jesus. They find their way to Calvary. They are led there. The crowd has lined the streets. They are paying attention to what's going on. This is someone that is going to be crucified. And they come to the hill and they lay Jesus down. They assemble the cross and they stretch his arms out, and through his wrists on both hands and through his ankles on both feet, they place one nail. And then they lift that cross up and they place it in the ground, probably not gently, for the purpose of crucifying. The pain and the anguish of that moment, I can't even imagine. I don't ever want to imagine. I can't imagine how much anguish he was in that moment. Literally hanging from nails in his wrists and standing on nails in his feet. The only way that he could breathe in that moment would be to pull his body up to take a breath, to push his body up off of his feet and to push and pull and take a breath. And then he would let go again, probably in a jerk fashion. Jesus is crucified. Jesus is punished. Jesus is executed for you and for me.